So in this video, I'm going to talk about the nature of the third declension noun. Up to this point, I have told to you, and it has been marginally true, that third declension nouns in the nominative have no ending. And that's why when we look at the charts, they are variant question mark, and even for the I stems, variant question mark with only the relative, or not the relative, only the occasional FACO ending for the I stems, IS in the masculine and feminine, and squiggle dash E. The fact is that there actually is an ending in the nominative for the third declension, and you can see it in every one of these words. Lux, Wokes, Erps, Arbor, Fragor, and Eistos, and that ending is the letter S. Now, there are two things at play in determining how and why that is the ending. For some, it's easy to see. For example, Eistos ends in S, Erps ends in S. That's quite clear. Other words, Lux, Lucas, Wokes, Wokus, if that is your stem, L-U-C add an S, pronounce the word Lux. Or, if that is your stem, pronounce the word Wokes. And you can see how it might be CS converted to an X, same exact sound. But here with Arbor and Fragor particularly, there's a little bit more going on. So let's use Arbor as an example. Originally Arbor, and still in some Latin texts, will be written in the nominative as Arbos. That R originally was an S. But there are two things at play, like I said, to cause it to become an R. The first of which is Rhotacism. And as usual, I'll be embedding items to, by watching this, give yourself an easy free 100. Now, Rhotacism is the process by which the letter S turns to the letter R when it is between two vowels. So, the reason it's called that is rho is the Greek letter equivalency of R, and that's your first R item. R-H-O, the Greek letter rho, R-H-O, put that in. So, if I were to then continue to decline this nominative, and now I'm going to put the genitive, and the dative, and the accusative, and the ablative, and we'll leave it at that, and add those endings, do you see how once we add IS, once we add long I, once we add EM, once we add E, each one of those S's is now in between two vowels, O and I, O and I, O and E, O and E, and thus rhotacism will occur. Again, what is rhotacism? The process by which an S between two vowels will turn into an R. And thus that turns into arboris, arbori, arborim, and arbore. So at this point, we can see why, in every one of the cases outside of the nominative, it would have turned to an R, rhotacism. But now we have our second item at play. Paradigmatic leveling. Paradigmatic leveling is a linguistic process whereby something is changed merely to fit a paradigm. The word in English paradigm is merely the word that means pattern. And that's your second word, paradigm, P-A-R-A-D-I-G-M, paradigm. And so as we can see, the paradigm for our word tree is that it's arbore, arborim, arbori, arboris, going up. And if the paradigm, and it would continue, it'd be arborees, arborum, arboribus, all the way down. It would have an R. And since every single form, due to rhotacism, has now an R instead of an S, because the S turns into an R between two vowels, in order to level it, in order to make it like all the other forms, they change arbos for no other reason than to fit the paradigm. And this is called paradigmatic leveling. So, arbos becomes arbor. So why is that R an R? Because of rhotacism. S turned into an R. Rhotacism, 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 rhotacism. But why is that R an R? Not because of rhotacism. There is not two vowels in between it. It is there because of paradigmatic leveling. Now we have this in English. If I were to ask you, how do you make something plural? In English, you say add an S. Boy, boys. Girl, girls. and so forth and so on. Now, there are some exceptions. Child, childs. Mouse, mouses. Fish, fishes. Deer, deer. Sheep, sheeps. Doesn't work out a lot of times. But, particularly, you see it in the word cow. Now, if I were to ask you, how do you make cow plural? You add an S. That's not what it was originally. Originally in English, the plural of cow was kine. One cow, two kine, three kine, four kine. That makes no sense. Kine has 0 letters in common with cow. And so, what has happened over time is that we have paradigmatically leveled it. We have created a new plural of cow so that it could fit the pattern of everything else. Boy, boys, desk, desks, girl, girls, chair, chairs, cow, cows, versus kine. And thus we have paradigmatically leveled it. Your last final word is kine, K-I-N-E. Now you understand. Now, the last thing that I'll say about it, so there might be another one, you never know, so pay attention, is if you think about third declension words that are neuter, like onus, oneris, tempus, temporis, and let's go corpus, corporis. Do you see the rhotacism that has occurred? Do you see? It was an S. Onusis turns to oneris. Tempusis turns to temporis. Corpusis. But even though rhotacism occurs as we decline it and add the endings, thus creating a situation in which the S appears between two vowels, S between two vowels, for these neuter words very often, the paradigmatic leveling does not occur. And so it retains onus, tempus, corporis. And remember, if you do have a third declension noun whose US happens to have the ending, or happens to have the letters, not an ending, US, then it will be neuter. So that is neuter. Third declension with the US, it's neuter. Third declension with the US, it's neuter. Third declension with the US, it's neuter. And that's your last and final word, for actually, corpus, C-O-R-P-U-S. And now you know about rhotacism and paradigmatic leveling in the Latin language. Thanks.